Thanks everybody for joining. My name is Jess. I am one of the advisors at CS Abroad, and we're here with Katherine Martin, who helps out with international students at the University of Limerick. Brian is also here, who helps out with program coordination. So if you haven't talked to him, you probably will at some point. So this is really just a session to talk about what it's like on campus right now, questions about Limerick in general. So we have Katherine here, and we're going to just start asking those questions away. Kaylee here has joined us as well. Hello. So we'll go ahead and get started. We do have a lot of students from questions from students. So we're just going to jump right in. So first question is, what is it like on campus right now? I know classes, you said, just started yesterday.
Yeah, so hi everybody, my name is Katherine and I'm the study abroad and summer school manager at the University of Limerick. So my job is to look after all of the study abroad students that come to study with us in UL. And when we say study abroad, we primarily mean US students. So we'd have a couple of hundred study abroad students per semester, mainly from the US. And then we also have maybe 400 or 500 European students that come also for one semester like you guys, and they're called Erasmus students. So this semester, things are a little bit different. Most of our US students didn't travel, but we do have some US students that are here and study abroad, and the same for most of our European students didn't travel, but we do have a number of European students as well. So that would be the students I look after. So they're the one semester students like you that come to study for one semester or possibly a full year, but normally one semester. We also have probably a couple of hundred other international students on campus as well. So all of our international students arrived 2 weeks ago, and they did a 14-day self-isolation stroke quarantine in their on-campus accommodation, which is the kind of legal requirement now for students. So I think there is a perception from students and people in America that you can't travel for study abroad. You absolutely can travel for study abroad. The domestic tourist market is less fixed, I suppose, but from a student perspective, international students are permitted to study abroad. But once you arrive into your country of choice, there is normally a period of time where you have to do the quarantining. So all of our students arrived 2 weeks ago. We did a virtual orientation with them, so we did various things online every day. And this weekend just gone, so today's Tuesday, so this weekend they finished their period of self-isolation, and now they can move around campus, they can move around the city, they can go and get their shopping and their groceries and things like that. We're operating a hybrid model this semester, so classes started yesterday. For most of the students, it's online this week. So they're looking to do online lectures and then maybe face-to-face labs and tutorials, which would be smaller lectures, possibly every second or third week. So they'll have the freshmen on 1 week, they'll have second years, third years, fourth years, so freshman, sophomore, junior, and seniors. So that's how it's working in Ireland, and I believe in a lot of schools globally at the moment. So yeah, that's where we're at. Classes started yesterday. It has been, I suppose, a different year for us, a different year for our domestic students. They're in the exact same situation as you guys are in the States. But I suppose we had a couple of months last semester when most colleges kind of went into a virtual online space. So a lot of the students, you included, are kind of used to of doing some virtual element now.
What is it like on campus itself? Like, are there students roaming around? Is everybody pretty much keeping to their rooms, or what is that like right now?
I think students are definitely out and about. All of our students, all of my study abroad students live on campus. So if you come and study with us, you will have your own on-campus accommodation, your own room on campus. 80% of the UL students live on campus or near campus, literally just outside the main gates. So it's very much a campus-based university. We normally have around 16,000 students in UL at any given time, but because of what's going on now, some students have chosen to study from home. Some students will just come back to campus for the week that they have their face-to-face classes. Some students have said to their parents, I love you, Mom, I love you, Dad, but I'm going back to UL to hang out there for 15 weeks, and I'll just come on and off, in and out to my classes. So at the moment, there is activity and life around campus, not as much as there would be normally, but certainly enough that there's a little bit of life and action. Yeah.
How about the community? What's the community like right now, the wider Limerick community?
Do you mean what do you mean by the community?
Like,
what do they mean?
Like town, like what's it like in town right now?
It's completely normal in town at the moment. So when Ireland went into the big lockdown on the 16th of March, the day before St. Patrick's Day, that was not accidental. Or a couple of days before, they cancelled the parades, and then I think the day before it was basically, well, this is more of a kind of a bigger lockdown. So what you guys probably would have experienced in some of the states over there, and then they eased some of the restrictions towards the end of June. And then so for July and August, people were able to move around within the country, and they could, you know, go and have their vacation on the coast or wherever. And then they brought out a new template with 5 stages. So stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stage 1 is everything is completely normal and there is either no virus or there's no cases. And stage 5 is all the way back to, like snakes and ladders, all the way back down to lockdown again. At the moment, most of the country is at level 2, and a couple of the regions are at level 3. So for level 2, which is where Limerick is at the moment, and the majority of the country, the businesses are open, the shops are open, the bars are open, the restaurants are open, takeaways are open. Everything is actually open, to be quite honest with you. We're maintaining our 2 meters, we're wearing our masks in public, and we're practicing the hand hygiene and all the health and safety. So the masks are compulsory if you're going into the stores, or if you're on public transport, a bus or the train or something like that. If it's escalated to level 3, and it may do, Dublin at the moment is in level 3, so it depends on the cases. So if the cases go up, they will introduce more restrictions. As the cases go down, they'll bring us out of the restrictions. So they're doing 2 and 3 week kind of more restrictions. But if we go into level 3, for argument's sake, the stores and the businesses will still largely stay open, but say the pubs will close and the restaurants will be maybe eating outside only, or deliveries or online deliveries. So what the government is trying to do is not go into big lockdown. And for example, the primary schools, so the elementary schools and the high schools and the middle schools, well, we don't have middle schools, but high schools in Ireland are all, the kids are all going to school. So if there's a case in one particular class, that class has been cocooned, so that class might go home and self-isolate for the week, but they'll keep the rest of the school open. So there's very much an emphasis on living with the virus and managing it, but trying to keep us operating as best as possible, but in a safe way.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you. And it sounds like the question was like, are restaurants, bars, and museums open? But it sounds like right now the answer is yes, but it's kind of to be determined as the cases go up and down.
Yes.
For classes, I know you can't really predict the future, but is there talk about what spring is going to look like? Is it going to be online, hybrid, or in person? And if you don't know, do you know about when you might know?
I imagine that the classes will remain as hybrid. Um, the university, well, you know, as we've been saying for the last 6 months, and everybody is in the same boat, we don't have a crystal ball. So we don't know what's going to happen like tomorrow, let alone next month. But we do know that the virus is not going anywhere yet. And there is going to be probably no quick fix between now and January, which is really only, you know, 15 weeks away. So one assumes that there will be some hybrid model as there currently is.
Great. Another question from a student is, how can I get involved once I arrive on site if in-person activities are limited?
So we are arranging a transport from the airport to campus, and you will be brought to your student accommodation, where you will be self-isolating for the period of 14 days. However, you will be living with other people in that apartment. You have your own bedrooms, but there will be possibly like a shared living room. So yes, people will have to follow the guidelines from the accommodation people in how to do all of that and to keep yourselves safe. So you won't be completely alone. The accommodation, the on-campus accommodation services will also have kind of virtual events and meet and greets and things happening throughout the 14 days. This semester and in January, we'll be doing the same. We'll be using that self-isolation period to do the online orientation. So we will have daily sessions on, you know, casual sessions about meeting us and having a coffee, and then the academic, social, the cultural. We did movies, we did quizzes, or what do you call them in the States?
Trivia?
Trivia, yeah. So not a test. You're not tested on it. It's fun. So we call them quizzes. And some of the American students over the years have kind of said, "Oh, we thought we're going to be graded on." I'm like, "No, this is fun." So trivia, yeah. You know, tomorrow we're doing, or on Saturday we're doing kind of pizzas out in the green area, out in the fresh air, socially distanced as well. So there will be ways to meet students. I mean, there will be classes, there will be online classes. The library will be open. The clubs and societies, I think, will be open. Whether it's online, I'm not sure, but they will be open to the best of their ability. The Students' Life, which is our students' union, they are aware of the importance of social interaction, and they're very aware of students and all of us actually. I suppose the what am I trying to say? That you can have increases of whether it's kind of mental health or whatever at these periods. So they're very aware of that, and they are working towards initiatives to engage with the students. So at no time will a student be left on their own indefinitely. There'll be lots of touch points, but outside of the 14 days, they will be able to move around, and they will be able to meet people and go for walks or go for, you know, a drink or go for some food, as long as they maintain and follow the guidelines. It's all about following the guidelines.
Yeah, we have 4 students, as you know, CIS abroad students in Limerick right now, and one of them has talked about, we've been talking to them. He said that he's met some friends in the virtual events already. So
yeah,
great that you did.
Is that Rob?
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he's very friendly, and he's you know, he's a lovely fella, and he's well able to talk, and I know him virtually because he's been to all of the sessions, and he'd always like raise his hand and, you know, has a chat. But yeah, I think, okay, when I say something, to travel anywhere is stepping outside of your comfort zone. To travel to Ireland or another part of the world in the middle of a pandemic is stepping out of your comfort zone, but also you need to be slightly adventurous, and you need to be embracing the new, I suppose. And you need to be curious, and you need to be patient, and you need to be all of those things, because it is a different type of an experience. I actually think it's an exciting experience and something to maybe put in your journal, in your diary, and make a film about and tell your kids and grandkids when you get older. And I do think that if you're going to be cocooning and self-isolating anywhere, why not come and do it in a different country? You know, especially for those students that don't have the opportunity to push this out for much longer. So, you know, if you're a freshman and you can wait until you're a junior or senior, super, you can plan 2 years in advance now. You can start planning now for like 2 years' time. But some of our students and some of your students are already juniors, or they're going to be seniors, and they don't have a lot of opportunity to wait 2 or 3 years. So I would say to those students, if you're watching, yeah, it's going to be a little bit different, but no different to where you're currently living. And, you know, you'll still be able to see Ireland, you'll still be able, the public transport is running, you know, you'll still be able to get a good flavour and feel for the country. Yes, it'll be a little bit different, but not necessarily worse, but it will be different.
Different. Yeah, I think those are really good points. And when I think of Ireland, I think of lots of green open spaces. But, you know, besides that, why do you think that Limerick is a good option for somebody seeking to study abroad this spring?
Yeah, what I like about Limerick is that it's a small city. So the university is in the suburbs, and it's a campus-based university. So it's 3 miles, 5K, but 3 miles from the city centre. And I think there's a nice choice between the on-campus piece, which is where all the students are and where you are a student. But when you go into the city, this is where you get to meet Limerick people, and people going about their own business, having their coffee, walking their dogs, doing a bit of shopping, just chatting on the street. And when I travel to the States, that's what I like. You know, I'm a people watcher anyway, and I'm kind of curious about, you know, I don't know, I just like traveling and looking at things and looking at people. And, you know, for us, there's so much of America we see on the television and in movies and in programs and in music. And I have a strong curiosity about America. And I'm sure that a lot of American people have a strong curiosity about Ireland, and the way we speak, the way we dress, what we eat, what the food is like, you know, all of that kind of stuff. And I think that's part and parcel of why you come to a country and the culture of the country. And I think Limerick is great for that, because it's not a capital city. It doesn't have 5 million or 25 million people all hustling and bustling and getting from A to B. There's a slower pace of life in Limerick, and I think it's just lovely. And I suppose what I would call it is authentic. It's where you see real Irish people doing real Irish things. Whereas if you go to some of the other cities around the world, capital cities, you're one of many. And there isn't the same opportunity to actually stop and speak to people. People in Ireland are very friendly. People in Limerick are even friendlier because we are a small city and we're not a tourist city or a capital city. So they're genuinely friendly and curious when they meet you. And sure, you could have great old chats while you're standing in line waiting to pay for your pint of milk, or, you know, when you're having a coffee or a tea, as we say, downtown. So, you know, I think that's a nice reason to come. And also being mindful of where we are in the world, it is nice just to step off the wheel for a while. It is a slower pace of life, and it's I suppose for people that haven't been to Ireland before, it is a slower pace of life, and it's a little bit less frantic than you might get in some of the larger cities or the larger US towns. That's why I like it anyway. But there's plenty to do. There's plenty of bars, there's plenty of restaurants, there's cinemas, there's a couple of small, well, a big mall and some small malls. And we're only 2 hours from Dublin, we're an hour from Cork, we're an hour from Limerick. We're very actually it's very easy to move around Ireland from Limerick because of the location. So, you know, if you were studying, say, in Dublin, you could be 3 or 4 hours from the West Coast, and, you know, it's a bit of a trek and ordeal to get there, whereas in Limerick, it's very easy to go from here to Dublin, from here to Cork, from here to Galway, or to the Cliffs of Moher. They're only, where are they? They're only like 50 minutes from, an hour from campus. So that's another reason why I like it as well.
Great. I've been there one time, twice actually. I've been to Limerick twice, and it's absolutely adorable as far as the city goes. Like, there's a downtown area, there's plenty to do, but there's also a lot of green space, and I thought the campus itself was really lovely. I had the best Irish scone I've ever had in Limerick. So.
Oh yes, well we do very good bread, and we do very good dairy. Actually, that's a conversation we were having with your students during the week. We were talking about butter and milk, because all of our cows are grass fed, and we have lots of green grass for reasons we all know about. Slightly damp occasionally, not at the moment, the sun is shining, and but we do very good food produce. So the meat is very good, the vegetables obviously are very good, the dairy, the butter, oh my God, and the milk is just delicious. And all of our bread, and this is actually one of the comments that one of the US students brought up, was the bread, because it's fresh and the milk is fresh, if you don't eat them within 3 days, the bread has gone a little bit stale, and after a week the milk goes off because it's fresh.
Yeah.
So that was to her a little bit surprising, because obviously it's more long life in the States. Yeah. And we also have a farmer's market every Saturday in the city called the Milk Market. And that is where, if you're into your food or cooking, you could come in every Saturday morning and buy your fresh produce. So carrots and potatoes and lettuces that literally came from 5 miles away, that still have dirt on them, and you can go home and cook them. So it's like Whole Foods, except you don't have to pay the Whole Food prices. So,
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that all sounds great. Jess, do you have any other questions?
No, I think that really covered a lot of the questions that we had come through. I do know that I've gotten a couple of emails since we've started from students saying that they're in class and they can't make it, but can we record it? So it's good to know that, you know, there's definite interested students out there that's longing to go. I'm also just like sitting here like reminiscing when I was in Limerick. Was it 2 years ago or a year and a half ago now? So just a beautiful place.
Yeah,
one of my favorites.
It is. And you know what I would suggest to the students as well? The UL Global, so that's what we're rebranded. We were International Education Division, we're now UL Global. If you if they follow us on Twitter and Instagram, that is a really good place to get images of the campus. All our social media videos go up there. We have lots of Instagram takeovers. All of the content is student generated and student led. Obviously it's moderated by us, but you know, we do look to the students to populate it for content. And it's a really good way to get a feel for UL and for what we do. And then obviously on the YouTube channel, again on the UL Global, there's lots of information there. There's lots of videos there made for the international students. There's some on orientation, there's some for study abroad, there's loads of them. There's some on accommodation, on the accommodation videos. And also we've student testimonials and we've videos up there as well. So I would suggest that students try and navigate their way or visit the website. You know, even as something as simple as visiting the website, having a look at the classes, having a look at what makes Limerick Limerick, what makes UL, reaching out via you guys, or we don't mind via us, either way, depending on the question. But certainly we're in a virtual space at the moment, and there has never been a better time, I suppose, for accessing information, because everything was online anyway, but like everything and everything more is online now. So yeah, have a look and see if all of the questions that you may have are answered. There's lots of questions there about classes, or not questions, but information about classes. And I know obviously that you guys are in CS Abroad are going to be giving all kinds of advisor sessions, and you're there to take students' questions and classes and transfers and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's all there.
Perfect. Yeah.
There.
For students who do want more information, they can always contact Jess anytime if they're still thinking about their options. And then Brian, he is the program coordinator for Limerick right now. He's holding advising sessions every week. So there's lots of resources right now for students who are interested in going this spring. We're here to support. There's clearly support, you know, on our end, and then so much support on your end too once they actually get on site. So this has been wonderful. Thank you, Katherine, so much for your time, and hopefully we have many students to send your way in just a few months.
Oh, I'd be delighted to welcome them, whether it's a few months or whether it's this time next year or even during the summer.
Yep.
If everything goes ahead, I'd be delighted to have them. And I'm looking forward to meeting all of my friends soon, or I don't know, soonish in the States whenever we can travel again. And it makes us appreciate. It makes us appreciate what we had, and we'll get there again.
We will.
So to the students, best of luck, and we look forward to welcoming Limerick soon.
Wonderful. Thanks, Katherine.
Yes,
take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. You too. Take care. Bye. Bye.